Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK Journey video. In this video we're going to be going through all of the top performing teams using Talene, using no Talene if you don't have her on your account, and then using basically the most free to play obtainable team for the Crystal Beetle today in epic difficulty. So the overall top performing team has been shared to me by Old Grey Gamer, and this is the team using Talene and Odie as the two damage dealers, Mikola for the buffing and healing, Coco for the damage reduction and protection, and Reinier to increase the damage that the boss will be receiving. Reinier will be position swapping the Odie, and Odie will have the resonating spell. And we're going to see his total damage output at the end of this, and then compare it to my team, which is not using Talene. So the Crystal Beetle, we can get into it as we take a look at the run. But the Crystal Beetle boss will increase the damage output from magical damage sources because of this shroud, which basically, or fog, which is covering the entire battlefield. It increases like energy generation of your allies, and it also increases their magical damage output. And you're going to need to have Coco in here again for the damage reduction to keep your team alive and safe. Mikola is really good. Mikola is usually a really good option with Talene because she's going to be up in the front with Talene, and here we're position swapping the Odie in as well. So they're all getting the buff from the Curd Sphere of Mikola, giving them the haste and giving them even the range defense for some survivability. And they get control of the on arena at the beginning of the match. That is giving the whole team the bonus attack percent as well. So look at that burst right there. The boss does a lot of damage, and without Coco, you're going to have difficulty surviving. If you wanted to replace Mikola, you can replace Mikola for Smokey, but then you have to position Smokey on the far left or far right. You don't want Smokey in the middle, like as you can see here, because this boss, as well as Orson, which are the new bosses which have been added, they both have knockups, 3 tile wide knockups, and so if your Smokey is not on the sides of the field, then he's going to get hit by this and it's going to reduce his effectiveness. So Talene is able to cast continuously, pretty much getting off a lot of damage. She will keep getting knocked up by the attack from the boss, and then she will have to recharge her energy and cast again, which is the major issue, and why otherwise the damage would be pretty crazy. So Reinier goes down right there, but it doesn't really matter. The match is about to end, and anyway, Reinier is not a major source of damage or even protection for your team, so it's fine if he dies earlier on. So far up to 23 billion damage, 5 seconds left. And I believe the resonating level on all of the heroes here is 541. So in total, 23.5 billion damage was the final damage output. Very similar damage between Odie and Talene. And and Odie had the resonating spell. He had epic charms on all of the heroes here. So this is pretty much the maximum potential that a team can do for today against the Crystal Beetle, getting around 23.5 billion damage. And his team survived the entire fight. And he has a lot of pretty much fully upgraded charms. So this was a really good showcase of what the Talene team is capable of. 23.5 billion damage and level 541. Actually, his resonating level would be 581, but because of the Dream Realm level cap, it is scaled down, but he is still at 541 for the Dream Realm, because I think the cap is actually 531, but then for levels after that, you get smaller increases in your actual level. Like for me, I'm also level 541 for the purposes of this boss. Okay, now I'm going to show you my team that I've been running, and that has done the best for me. So I've done a lot of runs with this team, and the maximum I was able to do was this most recent attempt, 20.6 billion damage, everyone at 541 resonating level. I don't have as good charms because I don't have the epic charm sets complete for Lily May or Odie, but I'm close to that. And again, Odie is going to be position swapped by the Reinier into the front line with the resonating spell to power up the Odie. In this team, we have Shakir to give the damage reduction, haste buff, and even attack buff to my frontline ally, which is Odie, and as well as Lily May. And again, Coco is needed for the damage reduction. And in this team, we don't even have a healer, but the healer is actually not needed because Coco comes with a life drain effect, and so I believe when she casts her ultimate, and if we just take a look here, yeah, all allies gain this amount of life drain and attack when the skill takes effect. Okay, so that is allowing the team to sustain themselves back up. Shakir doesn't do much damage on his own. He's here to buff up the rest of the team. And the problem is, like, when I tried running this team with Mikola, you can try Mikola instead of Shakir, but the team ended up dying more easily. And so Shakir ended up working out better for me, even though Shakir doesn't contribute that much damage. It's mainly for his damage reduction that he's providing to his team once he's in the wolf form, and also the buffs, like the haste and attack buff if he's at plus 10 exclusive equipment. But again, Odie is the major damage dealer with the resonating spell. He is contributing pretty much all, yeah, like, I mean, 11 billion damage, just like in the Talene team. But Lily May is the second most hard-hitting damage dealer, getting up to 7 billion damage in this team. So with Coco, there's not an issue with surviving. You have damage reduction, you have shielding if she's at Mythic Plus, and then she's providing the life drain to your allies to allow them to sustain themselves back up, even if their health goes below the maximum. Again, Reinier is going to try to survive for as long as possible, but if he dies towards the end, it really isn't much of an issue. Yeah, and Resonating Spell on Odie, it's just really good because each time he casts his ultimate, it's going to give him a 35% attack boost, and I think it lasts 8 seconds at the plus 20 upgrade. And that is going to really increase his damage by a lot. Basically, that is the reason you're using it for. It also allows him to charge up energy a bit quicker, like at the beginning of the match, for the first like maybe 30-40 seconds. And that can allow him to begin stacking the poison faster and get off a little bit more damage. But most importantly is that attack buff he gets whenever he casts ultimate. That's why you want to give these heroes Resonating Spell. As you can tell, the heroes are taking a lot of damage, and I think if you didn't have Mythic Plus on Coco, it could be difficult for you to survive here. And then I'm going to talk about different replacement options. And I think the best replacement would be replacing Shakir for something like Smokey. Again, off to the side, but then you would have the healing, you would have the attack and haste buff for the damage, and you would just be overall more safe. And either way, Shakir was not really contributing that much damage to this team. It was mainly that he was here for the damage reduction and haste buff. Yeah. Like to buff up the allies. And attack buff. Okay, so my Reinier also died around about the same time as All Great Gamers. In total, we got 20.6 billion, 3 billion less than the Talene team. But still not a bad score at all. And I had to do a few runs to get this good of a score with the no Talene team. Now I'm going to show you some options if you don't have these heroes. So in general, you can always replace Reinier for Thorn. Both of them have a debuff. Thorn's debuff is not as good because it is a 17% debuff from Soul Plunder at maximum level, and Reinier is a 25% debuff, causing the boss to take 25% bonus damage. But it can still work. And then if you're gonna go for a team like this, what I would recommend is, like I mentioned, probably go for Smokey here. And if you position Smokey here or on this side, it's up to you, but we could position like this. He's not gonna get interrupted at all, you're gonna see. And that is really important because it will allow him to continuously cast his aura to give the attack and haste buff and the healing. Lily May should be on the same side as the Smokey because she's going to end up somewhere around here, and then you want her to be buffed up as quickly as possible by the Smokey. Odie is still the backmost hero and will be getting the Resonating Spell for the damage because Odie still does the most damage in this fight. And so this is a great option for like a more free-to-play team without Reinier Mythic Plus. If you have Reinier at Mythic Plus, you can go for the same team. If, for example, you don't have a well-built-up Shakir or you're having difficulty surviving with that team, you can still run Odie, Reinier, Mythic Plus, for example, here, and then run the Smokey as well. Like, it's a totally good option. But if you're going to go fully more free-to-play, like early game position, then this is going to be it. If you don't have Lily May, you can replace her for another damage dealer, and I think the best damage dealer option is Corrin. Because the Primal Lord Crystal Beetle, when he came out, the top the top performing damage dealer actually was Corrin. And so last time Crystal Beetle came out, I did some free-to-play testing with Corrin, and he still did a pretty good amount of damage. So I would replace Lily May for Corrin if you have Corrin at Mythic Plus. You want to have like Merrily, Corrin. These are damage dealers which only shine once they have their Mythic Plus ability. So if you don't have them at Mythic Plus, then I would probably recommend just running some other form of damage dealer. But magic damage dealers are king for the Crystal Beetle. Talene, Odie, Lily May, they're all magical damage dealers. Physical damage dealers don't do as well, but Corrin is kind of an exception. He still does kind of well. So you can mix and match things. Like, you can even go, for example, rather than Lily May, go for Shakir. You can go for Kruger, Mikola. Basically, you can go for another support, another type of tank debuffer or buffer, or you can go for another damage dealer like Corrin if he's at Mythic Plus. And I think most people will have Lily May if they recruited for her, and because it was kind of like a general recommendation for a lot of people to go for recruiting Lily May, so I think most people have her. And then you can run this team, and I'm expecting this team to do pretty well, like 33 seconds down and all the way up to 32% of the boss's health. We just need everyone to survive until the end here, which hopefully can happen, because with both Coco and Smokey, the team has a much like better chance of making it all the way. I wonder how the damage output will be for this team, because Odie should still be doing a lot, pretty similar to the previous match. Lily May would be doing less, I guess. Yeah, but they're still being buffed up by attack and haste of Smokey, just not the attack and haste of the Shakir. Okay, so up to around 40 to 43% of the boss's health, 44% of the boss's health, 16.9 billion damage, almost 17 billion damage with a pretty free-to-play friendly team. So Odie did less and the Lily May did less, and that is probably just the difference of not having the Reinier at Mythic Plus in here and replacing her with Thorn. But still, overall pretty good damage. And like, for example, to compare it, 16.9 billion damage would put us where in the district? It would put us at rank around 10 or 11 in our district. Maybe there are more people to attack as of right now, and like a lot of it is about your resonating level, but this is a really good team option, and definitely I think you could compete for top ranks even with this team, but mainly Lily May and Odie, or Corrin and Odie. Okay, we can do one more run with Corrin just to show you that he's a pretty good option, because we tried it last time, but we can try it again. We'll just watch it on 2x speed. And again, I want to have the resonating spell on Odie, so I can't like position the Coco in a way to benefit my other heroes. I would want to have Coco behind Corrin to give him like the energy on hit and the damage reduction buff. I think a reason Corrin does so well here is he gets true damage when you have enough ultimate casts, like every 3 ally ultimate casts around him. And because in this team, you're going to be casting ultimate so rapidly because of the really high energy gain when you're in this shroud, this fog. That is the effect of the boss. So Corrin can keep stacking up his true damage pretty quickly. And because you're casting ultimate a lot, I wonder whether a Tide Call spell could even be a consideration instead of resonating. But probably I think resonating does end up getting more damage. Okay, so this team is doing actually even better than the Lily May team. 46% damage, and that is going to be in total 17.6 billion damage, which is really good. The previous one was 16.9, I believe. Yeah, so Corrin did a little bit better than Lily May in this team. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for today's top performing Crystal Beetle teams. I hope you enjoyed it, and good luck running these teams and trying to get a high score. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you all for watching, and until then everyone, peace out for now.